All right, I'm going to answer a really good question, which is how to make canapes. The first question is, what is a canopy? A canopy is a little piece of some kind of bread or cracker or toast with a little bit of food on it that's typically served as an hors d'oeuvre, which is not to be confused with an appetizer. This is something that you eat before dinner would begin, okay? I'm going to show you how to make classic round white toast bread canapes. I think we're going to do 3 or 4 different flavors. It begins by taking frozen square white sandwich bread, which is what I have in front of me, and cutting out the circles of the canapes. And we're going to toast them off in the oven. That's going to take a little time. We're going to have a time-elapsed video here. I think we can do 2 at a time here when it's frozen. It's much easier to cut, and it cuts very cleanly when it's frozen, and that's why I recommend that. You can cut them when they're not frozen, but it can be painful. These, of course, you can dry out and put in your food processors or for breadcrumbs some other time. I think we're probably going to end up making here, I don't know, possibly 15. We'll make about 15 canapes, maybe 5 of each, so you can see how they all lay out for your final presentation on your serving tray. This, of course, is the first step to a multi-step project, which is making canapes. Inexpensive, very nice, always beautiful. People always love them. Must be made, of course, the same day. The toast you can make the day before, but the actual assembly of the canapes must take place the day they're going to be served, and preferably just a short period of time before they're served. We'll get into that a little later when we're putting the assembly together, and I'll give you some pointers on making sure that they come out perfect and everybody loves them. Of course, you can cut your breads in many different shapes or sizes, and you can also serve your canapes warm. There are different kinds. You put a little garlic butter and throw some squeeze of goat cheese. You pop them in the oven. There's versions of this, but today we're going to concentrate on how to assemble and make a cold one. Okay, so there's the bread. I'm going to pop it in the oven, and I'm going to toast it, carefully watching it so that it doesn't get completely dehydrated, because then it will crumble. You want it to be toasted enough where there's just barely a little bit of softness left in the middle of this piece of toast, but not much. Again, if you toast it too much, it'll crumble. So let's pop it in, and I will bring it out and show you probably in about 5 or 10 minutes. Now, you can toast it directly under a broiler, but if you do that, then you'll still have to put it back in the oven to dehydrate a little bit, because it will toast quickly and get brown, but the insides will be still too soft. So let's let it toast in the oven for 5, 10, 15 minutes. We'll take a look. I have it at 400 degrees in a convection oven. So I'll be right back now in a few minutes. Okay, I'm the canopy maker. I got the toast. I pulled it out of the oven. Richard, if you can come down here and give them a look. This is how the toast was toasted. And I have been making some little canapes here, and I have 3 different kinds that I have, and I made 4 of each of them already. I'm going to make 2 more of each of these same, walk you through them a little bit. So God forbid you should have to stand there and watch me make them. I have one with, they all have a little mayonnaise in the bottom of them. I have one with cucumber, raw tuna, a little bit of pickled ginger, some sweet soy sauce, which we have a video for, and it's got the little sesame seeds and scallions and a little bit of tomato on it. That's one. Then I have one here that we'll call a vegetarian Mediterranean, if you will, with a little broccoli, black Kalamata olive, capers, roasted pepper, and a little bit of basil, and that's on mayonnaise also. And we're going to put some olive oil on that one. And then we have some moderately expensive $35 an ounce caviar, which you should not get. Use the black, cheap lumpfish stuff. But for some reason they were out, so we picked this up. And besides, we were going to eat it anyway, so who cares? How bad can it be? So this one is just a little bit of egg and caviar with mayonnaise. Traditionally, you don't pile a lot of stuff onto the eating of the caviar. Because you want to taste the caviar. That's what you do. You know, put a whole bunch of different stuff on top of the caviar. Then it's like you're tasting all the stuff, and you feel like you're not getting your money's worth out of the caviar, for whatever that's worth. But anyway, the principles and way in which I'm assembling these, if you look at the text recipe and click on that, you'll find that there are no methods and techniques listed. There are assembly processes that are identified for 3 or 4 different varieties that are in the text recipe. So the trick for you is to understand how I'm making them, and then you make any kind you want. You want to put ham and cheese, and maybe the cutter that I used for the bread here, you can cut ham and cheese slices as little stacks out and put them on there, or make some shrimp salad, which is in one of the text recipes, and put that on there with some little dill and lemons and stuff. So there's a wide range of what you can do. These are 3 kind of basic examples, and so let me walk you through them again now and exactly how I made them. It's messy, and I left it this way on purpose so you could see a little bit about it, what happens. Okay, so I'll take a piece of bread, and I'll put a little mayo on it, and we'll make the caviar one here first. Well, why don't I just put mayo on all of them first, because that's how I suggest that you do it. You don't do these things one at a time. In any case where you can do more than one thing at a time, then you should do it. Kind of save yourself a little bit of time. Not much, but when you're making stuff like canapes. Now this, of course, this is not for your, kid's lunchbox here. These are precious. It's probably the best way I could describe these. I think you can't really make a canopy, at least this style that I'm showing you, that isn't precious, okay? So I used the egg slicer here to cut an egg in here. Let me do that real quick. You can make these in advance now, and then what you can do is you can put them tented and covered up with plastic in the fridge. So we'll take a couple slices of egg, put them on there. And we'll take a little bit of the caviar. We'll put that on there. Okay, that one's done. Now we have 6 of those. I'm making 6 of each so I can show them how they look on a plate and how you might want to go about putting them on the plate. In the case of the one with the caviar, I'm just going to finish the caviar ones with just a little teeny bit of parsley here, so they have a little bit of fun little look to them in here. I'm not putting any oil or anything else on these here, okay? All right, next we have the little vegetarian ones. And I have a little piece of broccoli on each one. God knows we'll be scooping teaspoonfuls of that caviar into our mouths later. I'm going to put a little piece of broccoli on each one. Nice color. Of course, the broccoli has been blanched in boiling water. Just go to the vegetable class, and we have all kinds of blanching techniques there. We'll show you how to do that. And then we'll take a little bit of the Kalamata olive, put that on there. And we'll take a little bit of the red pepper. I got little pieces of roasted. These are little roasted red peppers you buy in a jar in a supermarket. They work just fine for this.
John, could you move those side by side?
These here?
Yeah, perfect.
How's that? Okay.
Thank you.
And now we're going to put some capers on there. Going to fill in the holes that were left behind with the capers so that the whole toast piece has got food all over it. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little sprig of basil. This one. Okay, now those are basically done, with the exception of I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of olive oil on these. I'm going to line these up here. And I'm going to put a little bit of pepper on these, like that. A little bit of salt, not too much. Remember, capers and Kalamata olives have got salt in them too. And I put a little bit of olive oil on these, extra virgin. Now it's got that nice Mediterranean, vegetarian type flavor to it. All right, and now for the tuna. I have a little piece of some sushi quality tuna here. What I did was just kind of diced it up. Can you see good down here, Richard?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Now we're gonna put a little pile of tuna on each one, like that. And I put a little piece of pickled ginger on the top of each one like that. Then I took a little bit of the sweet soy so the stuff would stick to it, also for taste, obviously. And you'll notice how I'm making them over here. We're not making them on the plate we're going to serve. I'm going to have a mess all over the plate. I'd rather have the mess over here. I put a little bit of scallion on there. Then I have a little bit of slices of tomato here. And we'll put a little bit of sliced tomato on here. And I'm going to hit these with little sesame seeds here also. Aren't those cute? They're beautiful. I'll tell you, we can't wait for this little particular tape to be over because we want to eat these. Make no mistake about it. Okay, putting them on the plate. Sounds simple, and it is. One little pointer I would like to point out to you is that rather than lining them up as their own, I would alternate them onto your serving plate, being sure that they're not touching each other and that there's a little bit of space in between them. Don't crowd the plate. All right, we get over here, we got to start improvising a little bit. Let's get some more tuna on here. Now you can certainly use paper doilies. Can you get a close-up on that one now, Richard? A very pretty little plate. You can use paper doilies, or you can use a white cloth napkin, or you can use a straight plate. You can see that it works all by itself. All right, come on back up here to me. Now, there you go. There are some canapes. You make them any way you want. Now, you may want to flavor the mayonnaise. You may want to not use the mayonnaise. You may want to do stuff like this, for example. Like, let's say, I just want to give you an idea of some of the flexibility on these. Like, let's say you have some chopped herbs. In this particular case, I happen to have some chopped parsley here, you see? So, boom, I can dip it in the parsley, and now, look, I got a canopy covered with some green stuff already. Maybe I would just, who knows what I'd put on there, but I just want to give you a little flavor for how you should go about making your canapes. This is what I did today, and I certainly could, if you gave me a whole refrigerator full of different food, I could probably make you 50 different kinds without thinking about it too much. Not because I'm so smart, but because it's that easy to make your own combinations. Okay, you have been given a good little lesson on how to make canapes. Good luck, have fun, and I guarantee you, anybody you give these to is going to say, wow, these are really cool.